60 Minutes Overtime.
Thank you. I did notice when we came in, it said no cameras or photos allowed.
So we're making a special exception for you today.
And 60 Minutes.
Yes.
This week on 60 Minutes, we take a trip through America's past by going inside its archives.
Oh, wow.
The National Archives are like the country's safety deposit box, storing the priceless original records that made America what it is. There's the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. But in addition to the founding documents students read about in history books, there are also less well-known artifacts that tell the nation's story.
This is a very different type of oath because it predates the Constitution.
Trevor Plant is in charge of more than 2 billion documents that are stored at Archives headquarters in Washington, D.C. Among the ones he showed us were petitions from 2 prominent American women asking the U.S. government to pay them what they felt they were owed.
This is a letter from Mary Todd Lincoln. It's January 1869. She's writing to the Speaker of the House, Schuyler Colfax, explaining how her husband was assassinated. She's a widowed former First Lady, and she feels that she should receive a pension. Up to this point, no former First Lady had ever received a pension from the federal government.
But she was also the first widow of an assassinated president.
Correct. In July 1870, Congress did pass an act and granted her $3,000 a year pension. Currently, it's $20,000 a year based on a 1958 act that's still on the books.
Really? Mm-hmm. So because of Mary Todd Lincoln, First Ladies of the United States get a widow's pension.
Abolitionist Harriet Tubman brought enslaved people through the Underground Railroad and spied for the Union Army. But more than 2 decades after the Civil War ended, she had to ask the nation she had served to now help her.
So in this document, she's basically saying she's 67 years old and she's explaining how destitute she is. And it just says here she's in debt for groceries and flour and coal and other things. So this is her writing to the pension office. She was actually receiving a pension at the time that this was done, not based on any service that she had done during the Civil War. So she was a spy, she was a nurse, but she received a pension based on her deceased husband's Civil War service, Nelson Davis. So that's why she has Harriet Davis, her married name.
This to me is so interesting because there were so many women who fought for their country, served their country, and then didn't get the same benefits that men did.
Yep.
The story of America is the story of its people, and the National Archives holds the pages. Within the billions of documents, just about everyone can find records from their own family history. In the microfilm reading room, I saw a name very dear to me within the passenger lists of the SS California.
From
Belfast.
Right? And if you look here at line 9.
Mary Monahan. That's my grandmother. 23, female, married or single. Yeah, and their occupation, hemstitcher.
Hemstitcher.
Jersey City, that's where she's going to see her aunt, Miss Mary O'Flynn. I don't know who that is after as my parents. Mm-hmm.
New discovery here
Yes,
today.
absolutely. So. Incredible.
So we'll begin our search in here under New Jersey.
Any American who wants to explore their own family's history can use the National Archives. To start the research, go to archives.gov, which explains how to search different types of records. Think of the ways your ancestors may have interacted with the federal government, like serving in the military, buying and selling land, or appearing in the U.S. Census.
Both my grandparents are there, actually.
Yeah.
And this has all of their occupations,
So their
too.
occupations.
I don't think I knew that my great-grandmother was a buttonhole maker.
For the United States' archivist, Colleen Shogan, making these documents accessible is a vital part of protecting the nation's story, whether it's a petition from a First Lady or just the first stop on an immigrant's journey in America.
It enables the public to learn about the history of the United States, and that could be someone learning about their personal history, their local history, their community history. It can be someone that wants to learn about a particular era of American history or a particular president. We want to be accessible not only for professional researchers, which are very important to us, but also to the high school student.
If all these records weren't available to scholars, journalists, students, How do you think that would change our view of American history?
It would make it impossible for us to be able to tell American history in the future. So we have to preserve the records so that future generations of American citizens can look back and evaluate our history.